Hello everyone, Latvian. My name is Salvita Rakitko. I'm with an embassy of Latvia here in Canada. We're located in Ottawa. It's very nice to see you all. I believe there should be some other people coming. Just a quick question to Viesturs. Would you know if Gatis or Guntis is joining us?
As I understood, Davis is not Gatis, but Davis is joining us.
Sorry,
but,
yes, Davis. It's my fault. Yeah, Davis.
About Guns, actually, I don't know. Yeah, I just heard that Davis is supposed to be, but I haven't contacted them.
Right. Okay. Well, certainly, everybody is welcome to join at a later time as well. I guess I'll give floor for some words to the organizers of the festival. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sure, for sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Mafon Gotz. I am the coordinator of Calgary European Film Festival in 2021. And this is the 10th anniversary of this festival. We started in 2012, 5 movies at that time, and now we are showing 26 movies on the 10th anniversary. And today we are having a kind of Q&A session or discussion board for the movie The Sign Painter from Latvia from 2020, and we already have the director as one of the guests, and I hope that Davis, the main actor, and Gontas, the producer, might join later. But thank you so much for accepting our invitation, and welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's nice to be here.
Perfect, thank you, and thank you so much for sending us this beautiful movie to our festival. Okay, let's start the Q&A session, and I keep tracking my the chat box. So if anyone has any specific question, or if you want to ask the question in person, that's totally fine. You can write it down in the chat box, or I can ask the question. That's either way is totally fine. Okay, I start with the first question for Viesturs. That I think the film is based on a novel by Gunārs Janovskis, and I really apologize if my pronunciation is not good. So when did you first this novel? Why did you decide to make a movie based on that novel? And yeah, what is the background behind that?
It's not easy to answer. This is novel by Latvian writer, but he was in exile after Second World War. He went to Germany, and then he spent the whole life in Great Britain. And this novel is not. And after we got back our freedom, Latvia, he became Gunārs Janovskis. He became very popular author because he has this very easy narrator style, and it's and also somehow we discovering new Latvian writer and so. But this novel, particular this city next to river, what is basis for the film, was not so very popular in Latvia. It was released, but very rarely you could get the book. And I heard about the book because of the topic, because Gunārs Janovskis deal with topic how Second World War like was in Latvia, in province of a small Latvian town, and how also local peoples were dealing with Holocaust or all those problems with many occupations, and it's some themes that we kind of not very often allowed to discuss in our society still. And I could call it some gray territories, it was, and when I start to read the novel, because I heard about it, somehow somehow felt very. I like the atmosphere. I like the world. What was explained by young guy and it's kind of young people story. What is told through those completely very bad events that happened in Latvia because we were for first time occupied by Soviets, then occupied by Germans, then again by Soviets, and before there was a local small authoritarian regime in Latvia established, and somehow for a small town, for ordinary people, it's how those huge historical events looks from a point of view of one kind of sign painter, just a very ordinary guy, and so on. And I find the story very interesting because you see, and you always ask the question, how you could survive as a personality, as a human being, because you're forced to be involved in some events that you are not even know about them much, and some how to deal with history who is going on all the time, and you must somehow take part, and you must make decisions, and it's a very complicated story, and I like it, and somehow I did it before this film. I made Chronicles of Melanie. It's again about Second World War, about Latvian people sent to Siberia by Soviet occupants, and somehow I wanted to still deal with this period of time, but just look how it could look from a Latvian angle, from a Latvian small provincial town. Yeah, many obstacles before you start thinking about the film.
Yeah, thank you so much. And now that you just mentioned the title of the book, actually, I'm curious to know what's the final name of the movie? Because we have the Sign Painter and City on the Water, and I had some issues that which name you prefer we use for the movie.
No, it's international title. It's the Sign Painter, and local is because it's based on the book. It's a city next to river, but in general, it's not city. It's a town, of course, and it's. And I don't have my personal preference. I think it's for me it's normal situation to have both titles.
Okay, and I can ask one more question about the scenes in the movie. Which scene, in your opinion, maybe was the most difficult scene to film, and which one was the least difficult scene to film? And how do you finally decide that, okay, this is the final shot and it was perfect?
Oh, come on, it's not easy to get the final shot, and I don't know what mean word perfect for such a complicated process as a filmmaking. Actually, I can't say, but it's most difficult because what we just put another level also in the film, because we shot in Latgalian language, but it's kind of again some sub story what we put in the film, and we decided to work far from Riga in Latgale, in very really small towns of this region, and also work in Latgalian, and it means because I speak Latgalian, because I have all my roots from there, and use the local people as actors mostly, and it's it's another level of difficulties in one case, and in another case it's quite a complicated production also measure wise, because for example, we put this small, what is called small ship in the river, and it was not easy task, and especially, and this summer was a river almost without the water, because it was very warm and hot, hot season, and we dealt with many difficulties, but I think really those scenes with a ship in the river were really complicated to shoot, and you know, the film is it's ready not when you shoot last scene, but when you edit it, and of course during the editing you still sometimes realize that you must have some extra shots, and of course there was not much, but we not so many, but we did also some extra shooting days almost after the film was already edited, and I could say all the film was easy and difficult as usual, because my way of working is that we are with the whole artistic team, we are going far away from our city and or home, and we like living few months together in different circumstances, and it creates some extra atmosphere between all crew members, and what I like, and we of course become very close, and all relations are intensive, and in the same time we are becoming tired from each other also, and it's really adventure to go to get such kind of film, and I could say sometimes my decisions about which film I will do also depends of my decision to go, how to create this creative process, and it's for me also very important thing, and because also this provincial times, the Latgalian language is not question about language, it's also a question about aesthetic, because it gives some another aesthetic, it gives another vitality and temper, and so it's always a combination between some technical issues, your soul, your personal issues, and also the story what you want to tell. It's always like become from many details. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know answer my question or not. I just start to some of that.
Thank you so much. Okay. Solvita, do you want to continue?
Yes, I'd love to. Yes, I actually started to watch the movie last night for the second time. I watched it first time when it was showed in Toronto Jewish Film Festival, and it's what struck me again. It's just that simplicity of how it flows. It tells you a story of such very hard times for people, but it's just there's a humor in it. There's some lightness in it, right? So it's just wonderful how you made it, telling us the story. So I was just wondering, like the first question was how it all combined together, based being on a novel, right? And then you talked about the scene taking, and just wondering if you can narrow it down, if you have one, you know, the most favorite scene that you took. Is there one?
I never could answer those questions. I don't have any favorite scene. It's an honest answer.
Right.
I have a lot of favorite scenes, and you know, you can't make any scene and then think it will be good. You must always sometimes you have some but actually I like the scene in the end part of the film in this culture club, where in this celebration of New Year. Somehow I don't know why. It's for me it reminds me a little bit this Wagner or Visconti atmosphere of this Nazi glorification and with this high style, and somehow I like the scene. I don't know why, it just was one scene, but in a way I also like atmosphere what we established there. But in general, I can't say, because every scene must be in particular place, and it must be like this, and you can't every scene make as a main scene, but it's sometimes those big scenes are easier to manage than those kind of ordinary scenes, and it's every day on shooting place are decisions, and of course also the work with actors are complicated, and sometimes from the beginning it's always a bit tricky, and then you must find the mood right, and then how it flows, and then suddenly you even, it's not necessary to direct anything, you see everything like just goes how it must, and it's like wonder or magic in one moment, and sometimes you're struggling with some scenes, you can't get a result at all, and it's always all those things belong to the film, belongs to your experience, and it's very important. Every of them, it's very important for me, and also for film. Even sometimes some scenes I just cut out, and they are not in the final film, but they are still important.
Right. You mentioned actors. The lead actor, he was new to acting. So I guess my question then goes to, what was more challenging for you as a director of the movie, to work with experienced actors who, may think that the scene should be shot this way, or new actors with zero acting experience at all? Are those even comparable?
Oh, it's you could compare, but of course, I'm not. I think if actors know how you must shoot the scene, better not to work with such kind of actors. It's in general, whatever is professional or unprofessional. Now, with Davis was another story. I was looking for few years for main character, and I also cast all young actors or students I know, like everybody, but I still, and actually when I decided to do in Latvian, I had somehow create this image of this character that I really would love to find somebody, because the main character, he is this painter, but naivist, like naive painter, and I really tried to find this naivete, and I decided to really look for somebody who is not an actor and would be real Latgalian, because also I believe that it's you can't reproduce with some other kind, because it's special thing for my opinion, to be Latgalian and also to be intelligent, and to be kind of with interesting factor and so on. And I really was looking for a few years while we are preparing the film, and the shooting period, it comes and closer and closer, and I still was not decided, and then, but still are looking for the main character, and somehow I believe that I will find him. And some months before the shooting supposed to start, I really found this character, and I somehow was waiting for. It's like you are you could compare it to go for hunting, that you really must wait. You must wait and be patient, and then it will come, and it's somehow I trust my professional instincts in a way, and really it took a really time, but we found him, and suddenly we realized that he is the right person. Of course, we prepared some small education, or we are like work with Davis and so, but in few days and very quickly, I just worked with him as any professional, and just we are speaking about what you must feel, what your inner task, what every scene is about, and so. And it was, I can't make any difference. I work with him as I working with professionals. It was no difference in the very short time. Yeah, but I think it was, for me, it's one of the biggest thing to get such a character and such a personality in the film.
Thank you. We have a question that which countries the movie has been shown, and what is the most memorable feedback you have received so far from the viewers in Latvia and worldwide?
In Latvia, actually, it was very, very, very. Because it was a film, and we released it before this lockdown came, and somehow and it was a great feedback, and especially for it was really very well from film critics, and it was they see they're really interesting things, and we had an international premiere in Tallinn Black Night Festival, and also for all international reviews are really great, and also audience was we even before we supposed to close the movie theaters, we get some 75,000 spectators. That is quite good for Latvia, and also if especially if film is in Latgalian, that is kind of Latvian language, but a little bit different, and not easy. Even we putting Latvian subtitles under it, and yeah, it now travels a lot, and just recently was in Vienna, and in North America, it's very, very often it's going around, and yeah, I think feedback was good, and because really I somehow this film was a reaction of my previous film, because my previous film about deportation was very, very sad film. And then I decided I don't want to make another really, really sad film, and I did in completely different style. But I can't say, because probably this film turns even more tragic in the end because of this kind of easy peasy style that I like, because it's such a Latgalian mentality. They are, I know, I love Latgalians very much, and they always expressing themselves in very loud and nice way. And also the film was influenced because Latgale is it's on the border with Belarus, and when we think about this painter and this small Jewish town, we thought about Vitebsk, but it's hometown by Mark Chagall, and it's some 300 kilometers from the town where we shooting this film, and also that's why we have this little bit Mark Chagall expression, or those we never have like straight horizon in our film and so on. And it's a lot of influence what we put together, this Latgalian, Jewish, and this multicultural things. I really breathe with it. I like it, and also I like. I don't like Nazi culture, but I'm a big fan of German culture also, and this, yeah, this combination, it was very, very good in a way.
Okay, thank you so much. And I think you just briefly mentioned the angle of cinematography in the scenes. I think almost every scene, as much as I realized, had an angle. Everything, almost everything. So can you explain more about that?
No, yeah, formally, of course, it was a little bit influenced by Marc Chagall paintings, but for another hand, we are looking for how the war are destroying young human view. That it's you can't, it's like no, you know, you can't see the normal picture in a way. You always have a little bit shaky, and that is something like we're trying to go to feelings of this hero, what is unhuman feelings of the war, and of some big bad events were going on around, and you somehow forced to take part, even you don't know anything about them, why they are coming to this nice small town, and you just realizing those tragic war events, you start to realize also some bigger human consequences, and that is still, I still feel in new days it is very actual, very kind of very important to speak about, because also we have today many challenges, but we are, especially this pandemic situation where everybody become crazy, and you even don't understand how you will go out of this whole story, and still those human decisions, it is something that is always very important in all the times, and this is why the film was made in a way. Yeah, I feel it's my personal approach to the film. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. More question for everybody.
I actually question to Viesturs. My name is Inga. I'm from Ottawa, but originally I'm from Latvia and from Latgalia. And I'm Latgalian myself. And I'm wondering about, you mentioned your Latgalian roots, whose are very important for you. When did you actually somehow had this self? Do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear. Listening,
yeah. When actually a couple years ago you started to give interviews in Latgalian. I know that myself, since childhood, I spent all my summers with my Latgalian cousins. They're always mocking about my accent. So finally, I was ashamed to speak in Latgalian. So I'm wondering about your self-awareness about this Latgalian mentality, Latgalian roots. How could you come to this decision that you could openly in interviews use your Latgalian language, which is very good?
No, for me, of course, it's it was I could call my probably second language, or I spoke with my grandma and grandpa in Latgalia and spent a lot of time there, all summers, and like lonely with my grandparents, and both even can't speak Latvian. They just know Latgalian, and somehow in all my childhood I spoke with them Latgalian. It was very okay with me. And then of course life like turned, and my grandparents passing away, and somehow there was some period I even not often went to Latgalia, but when I like but I like Latgalia very much, and then I decided that I must also somehow live in Latgalia, and with my wife we have a house there, and I always wanted to live there, and suddenly you know in my childhood I just speak Latgalian with all tractor drivers or village drinkers and all those nice people. But when now I met all Latgalian intelligence, and they speak with me only in Latgalian, and it was and they forced me to start to speak again in Latgalian, and I start to speak again, and I love the language so much, and I actually in Latgale I try always speak Latgalian, and if I have some interviews in Latgale I never do in Latvian, and I don't know, I just start to use language more often, and also with my mother somehow when we are going together with Latgale, we somehow always turn to Latgalian. I need experience and practice, and but I like for me it's no problem, even I'm not very perfect in Latgalian language, but I feel quite free to speak, and of course, I fight for Latgalian language. That is one of my like life tasks, and I feel it's very, very important question for me. And if somebody will ask about my political, I can't say I'm liberal or conservative or left or right, but I could call my like Latgalian Congress. It's really what is most important. My political kind of direction. Yeah, it's very important. I think I still believe in it, and even many people not accepting me. It's for me, it's no difference. It's sometimes my opinion for me is more important.
Okay, thank you. Another question kind of related to the previous one. When will we see another movie in Latgalian?
I don't know. I just finished this January another movie, and it's a little bit, and there is some scenes in Latgalian because we are this hero going. It's like a little bit half semi-biography, but it's of course not. It's not film about me, but there is some similarities with my youth, and I don't know actually. But I think it's in nowadays many much often films are in Latgalian, special documentaries, and I just recently did one episode in Latgale in a documentary, and when I meet it was some village Kuprava. It's like a bit Soviet village, and then mostly there are Russian peoples. But when I meet some Latvians, I always try to speak Latgalian with them, and also film all interviews in Latgalian when it's possible. It's like normally for me. It's not nothing special. I could call it's totally normally in Latgale. I think we must speak Latgalian, and it's for me kind of. And when it will be another film just in Latgalian, I don't know. But it must. Also, I think you must. I am also thinking about theater making in Latgalian, in Latgalian. So it must come naturally. I'm not forcing it.
Thank you so much. I have a question myself. You already talked about your previous movie, The Chronicles of Melania, and the Sign Painter, and both of them became popular worldwide in Canada, and I'm sure in Latvia. Can you tell us about your next project, next movie, just if it's okay?
No, this what I finishing now. I'm finishing editing right now. It's called January. It's about January 1991, where we had those in Riga. We established barricades in the city because it was we pronounce our country like as independent, and Soviets tried to Gorbachev tried to get back, and there was some fights, and then people built barricades in the city to protect the independence, to fight for it, and I was 90 years or 80 years old, and I was interested in those time more in films, bohema parties, and some love experiences, and somehow this personal independence become more important than the independence of all country. But it's somehow they are crossing those two directions, and it's a bit semi-biographical about a young person who are just interesting about films and making films with 8mm camera, and some love story, and parents divided like Latvian and Russian, but was very common in those times, like multinational families, and then somehow he come in those events what is going on in Riga, and it's end with it's very, very sad event was last because in January 20 it was there was shooting in Riga Centrum, and two of DOP, two of very famous Latvian director Jūtas Podnieks cameraman was shot death, and it was kind of also I'm in a way working with this topic, and also this scene about shooting those DOP, because for me it turns more in some symbolic way that it's a very nice to be filmmaker and to try to be filmmaker, but sometimes it's a question of life and death also, and in general it's also a question. It's totally a question about life and death, or you want to work to make movies or not, and of course it is it is in a way even more personal film, somehow. It will be released, I don't know, because my kids ask, it would be stupid to release film called January in February. And I said, probably there is a problem, but now we have something like lockdown in Latvia, and it's no reason to release any movies, and I wanted to finish for just finish until New Year, but I think it's not possible. It's in final study of editing, I could say,
Thank you so much. Okay, anybody, any question? Please go ahead. For sure, Ragonda, go ahead.
Hello, Viesturs, and hello, everyone. Solid already asked my questions, but I still have one. How easy or how hard was to find the main role character?
No, it was really hard. I spent several years to find Davis. Unfortunately, he's not presented here. He's supposed to be probably, I don't know, jump in some other things, but it was very, very. I think it's a most important thing to find main character. It's so complicated, and also in January I spent a really long time to find it, It's always the most important thing. And Davis, it's a very nice guy, and I still, and his hometown is not far from my village, and in Latgale sometimes he visiting me, and even we because I have black sauna, we are even sometimes going to saunas, and when I am in Latgale, and he's really very interesting guy, and it was big luck for me to find him. But I spent a lot of no, it was because the producing of the film was long, and I start to looking for main character right from the beginning. And of course I know all young actors and also students, and I did a casting, I researched, but still I always was not satisfied. Of course I had some versions of no problem, I will take him and go with it, but I continue to looking because I was not satisfied, and I still believe and I hope that there will be this character that I really need. And it's sometimes you know, it's interesting. It's like psychoanalysis. You are like making this visualization in your mind, and then you are going after it, and you must be patient, wait, and look, and continue to believe, and then you suddenly you get it. It's so easy in theory, not so easy in the life. But yeah, this was kind of and I saw him, he sent to one casting website really stupid video, really stupid, where he made some kind of jokes, and I immediately got, oh, what is this strange guy? And of course I thought, oh, he's so interesting factor and face. Probably I will need him from some, I don't know, somewhere in scene. Of course, I never think about the main character, but I found him very interesting, and immediately I asked to get him to casting room and with a camera, and then I mean, in the first time already, I immediately have really hot feelings about him, but of course it was still I just recheck and try again and again, but it's every time. But it was immediately I thought, oh yes, it is really what I need, and it's and special Latgalian humor. We have just Latgalians, this kind of humor and intelligence, and also everything, yeah. And also very important to have soul, because you see on the screen, rather you have some inner world or not, and it's very important for those persons, professional actors, unprofessional, because it's something that you can't play or can't act. Even you are super professional, if you don't have some inner world, there's nothing to express. Your face is empty, and so on. It's cinema is there is something of real magic, but you can't analyze or describe. Rather there is or not. It's just so simply. Yeah, actually, it was really hard and take a time, but if you believe in something, you always get it. Yeah.
Thank you. I can't wait to see movie in Calgary here in Calgary.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Viesturs. I personally think that you found a great match in Davis for Ansis' role. He just hits it, you know, like 100%. When you spoke earlier about casting and how much time did it actually take for the idea to become a movie, so I was wondering, like, for you personally, when the actual shooting starts, how do you organize the day? Do you have like maybe some personal routine that, you know, keeps you going, or things that you do not do because of superstitious something? I mean, if it's too personal, we understand, no need to share, but just wondering, you know, for, you know, artistic people, you know, how do you kind of keep your thoughts, you know, in, you know, in somewhere, you know, that they actually drive you further instead of, you know, losing the energy, you know, because I guess the casting and, you know, the actual filming, it's a very energy draining process, right? And you have the whole movie to shoot. How do you go through that?
Oh, for me, most important always is atmosphere. I really work with people that I know, with almost like family, and also all family members are working with my team. Also, my wife is an artist and of the film, and all cameramans are. No, we are like really close people, and I like. For me, it's most important this atmosphere, this free atmosphere, and always fun atmosphere, because the work is so complicated, and you become so tired quite soon, I could say, because the shooting is all day long, this waiting for the lights, and then you must be really completely concentrated on those few minutes of this scene, and it's like all the process, and you must really be very analytic and as a professional, but in the same time you must be totally free, and it's not so easy. And for me, all those work conditions are very important. And if I would have bad atmosphere, I can't work. Then I can't work in very serious conditions where everybody just like very focused and concentrate. No, I like laugh on the set. It's very important, and good people around. For me, it's very important. I don't know, somehow out of this atmosphere, I could create. I can't be very conceptual that I'm sitting alone with my thoughts and then I go and I need only this. No, I need to find always what is the best, and this reaction. Acting is reacting. Also, work of director is you are always you provoking some situations, and you wait for reactions, and then you see what is going on, and somehow you must catch right mood or some emotions, and then start to establish them. It's a no. I could say it's like a life. You really must only very concentrated, and there can't be empty things on the screen. There can't be empty faces or empty atmosphere. Always you must decide what you really want and try to fulfill with right energy. Actually, I don't know. It's I'm living like I'm shooting. I'm working as theater director. I always doing like one great big creative atmosphere all the time, and just change the places or people around me, and it's something like how I live. I'm more or less I could call it living, not shooting. It's, for me, it's like way how I live. Yeah, I don't know. Could I answer those questions in a very serious way? They asked me to now. They asked to write me a book about my method. In Latvia, there was one publishing house, and but I think it's no, I don't have any method. I just living my life. This is my only method.
Great. Well, thank you very much for that. Well, you mentioned the production part of the movie, of course, and so the Sign Painter is a co-production, right? So it's Latvia together with Lithuania and Czech Republic. So just wondering, like nowadays, there's a lot of movies that are being made as a co-productions. Does it bring extra challenges to the set, or or how do you feel?
No, for projects like for my projects, you can't do without co-productions because they are quite big and we can't make from one country. Now I have film also co-produced by Poland and Lithuania and so and Urimash. It's I feel like normal. It's somehow for me this is everyday life, and I have good friends in all those countries. I'm finding good professionals, and also I never have problems with them, and of course it's some also exchange of cultures, exchange of professional things, but it's always good. But most important to create one team, but we breathe in one way, and I think it's very important, and doesn't matter. It's up to you to create this team, and otherwise, yeah, it's just you get more financing, and you could make bigger projects, but it's very important. And now, yeah, I can't imagine myself making film produced only by Latvia, because it's probably we will become very rich country, and with a lot of money, and suddenly for my project it would be enough, but I can't believe. And also it's good to share also ideas, because they become more universal, and it's also a very good point of view. For me, it's really necessary to share with different countries and different experience, because you somehow you could focus out really universal side of story, not local one, and it's good. It's good. And yeah, just a lot of nice people around. Why not?
Thank you. Actually, I have a question from Gonta in the chat box. Within Latvia, was the reaction to the movie different in Latgale and Latgalians versus the rest of Latvia?
Excuse me, what was the reaction, or what was different of reaction?
Was it different between these two?
Well, I don't know. Now it's Latgalians probably always waiting a bit more this folk movie, like more simple and so. And because Latgalian language somehow it's always just they're using for songs and some ethnographic things and some Schlager music and so on. And when you are putting some really complicated story in this language, it's some not so kind of common. But there was good reaction, and instead that it's this kind of very serious movie in Latgale, and it's a little bit probably strange, but no, it was good reaction. Also, it's in the rest of Latvia, it's quite good reaction. I don't feel. Of course, you always have some Latgalophobic and some, but it's just I don't care about it. But in general, it was a good reaction. I don't see also difference. But in Latgale, it's very nice because I sometimes I'm going with the film to those small towns where many of actors was from, and then all those screenings were just huge parties. It's for the health was not so easy because hospitality of Latgalian people, it's really wow. A lot of food and hard drinks and so. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. Any more questions? Anybody? Go ahead.
I have a question regarding second main role, Jewish merchant. I think Gundar's Abotiņš was great, But did you make immediately choice on him, or you got some couple of different options?
Somehow in the beginning I thought about probably more kind of this older and more serious characters, but then I worked with Gundars and I know him quite good, and somehow I found this because he's a great comic actor and very deep in a way and human, and I found that we could give another dimension with him for this, and it's a very often experience to bring the actor with comic skills to a very important role, and especially in cinema. And yeah, it was. And then when I understand this opportunity, I was very sure about it. And yeah, and there was no problems at all. Yeah, and I like it, and I like decision, like work, and like what Gundars did, and it was really I like this character, this Bernstein character. I think it was very important character, not to be very all the time sad and but to bring all these human sides, these comic elements, and it really create also deepness of the character of this Bernstein. I think it was also I like this choice. Yeah. Actually, sometimes I have a feeling I like the movie. But I did, but I make.
Thank you. And I think we have more questions from, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Thanks very much. Hi, Viesturs, and thank you for sharing your time and being with us today here. Greetings from Calgary. Knowing that you are a director that makes movies and operas and plays on the smaller and bigger stages at the theater, I wanted to ask you which work is your favorite, or which medium is your favorite to work in? Is it a stage, or is it a movie, or is it opera? You mentioned Wagner, and I know you're a big fan of that, and there's a history of working in Latvia was that all. So I'm just curious to see, or you love them all, it's just a very different style of work, and how do you do this? Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for the question. And especially I'm now artistic director of the biggest theater in Baltic states, I think, in Dial Theater. And I think I'm totally occupied by theater process in one side. I don't know. Some years ago, it was problem. Looking for answer to this question, it was problem for me, because I always thought, okay, yes, you must decide it. You will go for movies or for operas or for theater. But now I can't answer. I just don't care about my own answer of this question, because I can't make my own decision. I can't make what is for me more interesting. I continue working on all those fields, and for me it's like one huge process, this creative process. And I just was like, even today Sunday evening in Latvia, I just was in my theater, was looking one coming performance rehearsal, and it was very interesting, and I had discussion with creative team about all the things, and it was very interesting. Just and I can't say it's not it's less important for me as working myself as director. But this is always, I had always this question, where I feel more comfortable, and I can't answer. I somehow I feel always good, and actually, unfortunately, I'm not working on small stages anymore, because I could go for one genre to another, from opera. For example, when I start to work in theater, and it gave me great opportunity to learn how to work with actors, because I very often see that in films, film directors, they mostly think like editors, but not like it's not easy to know how to work with actors. But suddenly I go to opera stage, and in this huge epic stage, I realize that it's, oh wow, I feel very comfortable with this huge scale on, for example, Wagner operas where everybody is afraid of. I felt, wow, it's my size. I feel really comfortable. After the opera experience, I started thinking, I'm trying to make movies just about small relations. It's not I must make movies as operas, and it was also to understand, and then that's why I turned to those historical sujet plots, because there is like huge scale, like operas or Shakespeare or antique tragedies scale, and it was I felt, oh, I must work in this scale. And then I turned back to theater. Also, every performance I'm making as an opera, and also every film for me is as an opera. All musical thing is very important, and somehow I don't care about this question anymore. I just working on my ideas. I have film ideas. I have theater ideas, and I even have opera ideas, and I don't care. I will do one step from another. Actually, if I would really work only in cinemas, probably it would be not enough for me. I don't know. It's it's changing of energies, and it's. I feel very comfortable. It's real Gesamtkunstwerk for me. It's one big regime what I'm making, and don't care about genre. But yeah, and I want. I'm really waiting for, because I have some really personal documentary ideas, and now we had this lockdown. I thought, oh, if I will have 1 month's lockdown, wow, I will really focus on this idea that I can't develop because of working on the time. Unfortunately, I'm supposed to continue to work in theater, even we don't have audience right now, and can't. I just only think I'm looking for time, but I'm also think time will come for every project, and yeah. I like this intensive way of working, because from another hand, it's like also I'm living between Riga and Latgale. I'm always always. It's like this is this theory. You must be in between two points, but it's both are very important for you. But you always start, because it's always make you in dynamic. You are not standing in one point, and probably it's something very, very good for me. I don't know. Actually, it's good to do. If you only thing, you must really have good and interesting ideas and projects. Yeah.
Well, I think that's wonderful and unique, and I know you have all the energy that you need as a Latgalian to do this.
I know. But it's very good, because other hand, I want to say I have this small house in Latgale where I really escaping, and nobody could catch me, and I could I just say, oh come on, I can't come. I'm in Latgale, and those are where I working on my scripts and so on, and it's not necessarily means that I must be always in middle of activities. I always in middle of activities, but then I of course running away, and I don't want any human around me, and somehow, yeah, as far I could keep this opportunity, I could work. Yeah, otherwise I just I need those both sides. I also complete silence, contemplation, and loneliness. Yeah.
Well, thank you for the answer.
Thank you so much. More questions? Anybody?
I have a question. you are creating movies, but what is your favorite movie?
I don't know. Probably as a utopia idea and madness. Probably Werner Herzog Fitzgeraldo. It's always something like that. It's for me something like you must always trust your dreams and go in the most unconventional and probably even mad way to reach them, and don't be afraid. Yeah, I could call this Fitzgeraldo. Even it's not really good movie, and even Werner Herzog have much better movies, but this is kind of this symbolic movie for me. Yeah, it's very important. With Klaus Kinski, of course. It was
Thank you.
My favorite actor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a hard question to answer. Thank you. Okay, any more questions?
I'll ask one. So you have a Czech actors from Czech Republic speaking in Latgalian. You have Latvian actors speaking in Latgalian. What are the logistics or practical considerations to actually shoot a movie with those co-productions and have those actors, speak in the native tongue?
I don't know. I had experience with the biggest experience for me was in Chronicles of Melanie, when great Swiss actress Sabine Timoteo spoke in Latvian, and I used her own voice. And after that, I thought everything is possible, but it was, of course, not easy, because, for example, for Czech actress, for Brigitta, we recorded the speaking lines in Latgalian, and also she have letters, and she automatically, in a way, learns them, and she spoke on the set this kind of Latgalian, but it sounds crazy, and we afterward make with one Latvian girl all her voice, and I think we really, with this Latgalian girl, we really little bit improve the character of Zisele, but sometimes it happens like this. I don't know. Even big Lithuanian actor Jozas Budraitis, for me, was very necessary to get out of him at least few sentences in Latgalian, and not record him with some Latgalian guy, and because Lithuanian with Latgalian is even probably more similar than Lithuanian and Latvian. It was not so complicated. I don't know, somehow, and with Naiga, with Agnes, it's another story, because she is like Latvian who started to speak Latgalian, and she could do with accent, and there I just said to Agnes, like, very much, you must learn, you don't have any choice. She just did it, yeah, and I'm very thankful for her. It was very, it was not so easy, but sometimes you must have, you must even create complicity of the task, because otherwise, if it's so too easy, that there is no result. And sometimes you must, even if you see the film will be too flat, or you must really think how to make it more complicated, and even more complicated for producers and yourself, and so. But it's you see on the screen that it works. It become more interesting. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
A question for the organizers. Will this recording be available?
Yes, for sure. Yes,
okay.
We will post that on our social media. Most probably after the in cinema screening is done, we will post it on social media for sure.
Super, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Any more questions? And I have a general question for everyone. I took some screenshots from this session. Is everybody okay if we share them on social media? Or let me know if there's if anyone has any issues doing that. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining. I think it was a very, very, very interesting Q&A session. I really enjoyed it. And thank you, Viesturs, for accepting our invitation. Really, thank you. And I hope that we might meet you in person someday. You never know.
For sure. Yeah, thank you very much, and bye-bye, everybody. Yeah.
Bye, everybody. Take care. Bye.